Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Larry. Today I'm doing a chuck roast on my Kamado style grill. This is going to be in lieu of a brisket, which are really expensive nowadays if you haven't noticed this on at the grocery store. Brisket used to be the cheap cut of meat. It used to be $3 a pound. It used to be less than $3 a pound. It used to be nothing. Nobody wanted it. And then over the past decade, all these cooking shows come online talking about, oh great, boy, look at this barbecue, and everyone gets on board with the whole barbecue bandwagon. And you know, supply and demand shoots this cheap cut of meat up to like the price range of a ribeye, you know, steak. So why would I buy brisket? Whatever. So anyway, chuck roast is still in the $3.50 range a pound, whereas brisket's been about $6 a pound in my area. So I've you know, completely gotten rid of the whole idea of doing brisket around here anymore. It doesn't make any sense. I just spend an extra $1 a pound and buy steaks instead and do steaks, right? So here is how you can do something similar to a brisket with a chuck roast for a much lower price point, about half the price. So watch this. So now we have the chuck roast here. Just imagine this would be a brisket. You can use whatever spice rub you want on this thing as you would a brisket. I have my favorite right now, which is just a sample for the video. Do whatever you want, but what I got here is about equal portions of about a teaspoon of kosher salt, teaspoon of seasoned salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, about a half a teaspoon of paprika, and about a half teaspoon of onion powder in lieu of a real onion, which I do not have with me today. So I'm going to mix these all together in my little container here, shake it up, put it all over the meat. I got my fire started here, my pile like I normally do for my indirect cooking. If you want to figure out how to build this fire from start to finish, take a look at my how to low and slow video on my YouTube channel. It talks about how to build the fire, interweave the wood. The wood I'm using this time is actually cherry wood, but I usually, for beef, I usually like oak. Don't have it today, so I'm just going to use cherry. And let's let this ignite and we'll come back. Now that this fire is starting to go a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put my first level in. That's going to hold my heat deflector pan for indirect cooking. And then I'm going to throw on the grill top, just like that. Add my probe, my temperature probe for the grill, just like that. I'm going to close the lid, crack the vents accordingly to get the temperature up to about 225 to 250. The grill is at 226 actually, a little higher. It's pretty good though. I want to get the temp up to about 225 to 250, you know, anywhere in the low to mid 200s. Not critical exactly what temperature, but so here we go. My indirect setup's ready to go. I got my meat on the side. Toss the meat right up on there. Just like that. There we go. And I'll close the lid and monitor the temps with my remote probe here for the next, I'm guessing, 3 or 4 hours. When the meat gets to about 160 degrees, you're going to want to pull it off and wrap it in something. So you can choose to wrap it in aluminum foil, or you can choose to wrap it in, or not wrap it, you can place it into a Dutch oven with a lid and let it cook the rest of the way on the grill. Okay, why pull the meat off at all at 160 degrees when it's not done? It's got to cook to like 190 to 200 degrees. Well, the reason for that is that the meat has to render all that tough collagen inside its tissues into this liquid gelatin, and that's what makes the barbecue taste so good. And what you got to do at that point is that you want to make sure that you don't want to lose some of these juices, because otherwise the meat might dry out or will dry out. So what you do is that you put it in a Dutch oven or wrap it in foil right as the fat starts to render, and that's about 160 to 170 degrees in that range, and then it'll start to render in the foil or in the Dutch oven. All that liquid will then baste the meat, keep it moist, and it'll be part of the final dish. So that's why we do that. The meat's about ready to come off right now. What I got here is my crock pot. I decided to add some vegetables to it. Put a little bit of water, some salt, pepper, and some fresh herbs like rosemary and thyme in there, and I'm going to put the meat right on top of this. Now the meat's at about 160 plus degrees, about 163 actually. So I take this thing off and put it into my Dutch oven that I just showed you the vegetables. See, it's still a little tough because it's not tenderized yet. That's step 2 of this. This first half of cooking was really just to add some smoke flavor to it, like a brisket. Okay, on we go with the pot. Right there. I'm going to close the lid and let that go for, I don't know, probably a couple more hours. It's been several hours, probably, I don't know, maybe 5 since I started this project. I assume that my chuck roast is finished, so I have an instant read thermometer here. I'm going to come in and stick in the meat there. 205. And it is like butter. It's like really tender. Wow, look at that. Oh man, this flakes right up. And all that juice is down there in the potatoes and carrots. Oh yeah, this is going to be good. So I'm going to take this off. I move the pot to the table here. Let's take the lid off. And let's see how this tastes. Oh yeah. See, I'm just using a butter knife, and I can still cut right through this meat, like butter, of course. And look how tender this is. Look at that right there. That little piece right there. Incredible. Potatoes, cut right off. Carrots, this is outstanding. I'm gonna fix me a plate. And there we go. Final thing. Thanks for watching.